Hey guys, today we're going to look at a key that unlocks addiction recovery. I remember years ago, I was just starting out in addiction recovery. I hadn't even taken any classes, but I had begun to volunteer in addiction recovery. I'd also begun to learn and grow on my own, so I had a little bit of tools, and obviously, I had learned a lot from the people that I was working with in addiction recovery. But it just so happened at that time, someone from our church was in need of some addiction counseling. So the family came to church and they said they weren't sure if they should have this young man come talk to me, who had some counseling experience in my past and now also learning about addiction recovery, or should they take him to this elderly man who was a life coach. Well, they ended up taking him to this life coach. And I'll be honest, I remember thinking like, dude, you should have come to me. Like, right, I'm the one who's trying to get into this addiction recovery thing. But they took him to the life coach, and after a few weeks, I met up with the old man. I think we met up for coffee, and I just asked him, "Hey, how did it go with that young man that you counseled?" And he said it was really good. He said the first session I just kind of started to ask him, what do you want out of life? What are your goals? What's your vision for your future? And I'll be honest, all those years ago, I was thinking to myself, well, that's dumb. I thought where I was at that time, I probably would have asked him, began to talk to him about triggers, explain how addiction works in your brain. But guys, years later, now I can look back and say that old man had wisdom that I didn't have. Because the truth is, one of the keys, a big key to recovery, is just having a vision for a brighter future beyond our current situation. In fact, if you can't envision a brighter future for your life, we're never going to recover. We're going to stay stuck in that addiction. Recovery begins with hope, and hope begins with a vision for a brighter future beyond our current situation, beyond our current pain. Big picture, all of our goals, all of our dreams, all of our desires fall into just three categories: love, joy, and peace. You could give me any dream that you want, any goal that you could have, and I could explain to you how it falls into those categories: love, joy, peace, and also purpose and a thousand other things. But purpose really falls into that category of love, joy, and peace. So let's talk about love, for example. Some of our goals for a brighter future beyond our current situation have to do with love. I want to have a better relationship with God as I understand Him. That's a love goal. I want to have a better relationship with my wife, or heal my relationship with my dad, or heal a relationship with a distant child. Those are all love goals. But also self-respect and self-forgiveness, those are love goals as well. And I don't care for the term self-love, but that's really what it is. Self-compassion. So getting a good job that I can be proud of, that might be an example of a love goal. And as we go through this, you'll also see love, joy, and peace. Uh, Goal might not fit firmly in just one of those. In fact, it might be all three of those. For example, you get a good job. That's going to make you feel good about yourself. That's a love goal. But it's also going to bring you joy doing something that you actually enjoy. But it's also going to bring you peace with that financial security. Some of our goals fall into the category of joy. I remember talking to a classroom full of people who were incarcerated, and we were talking about goals and asking them, what are some goals that you have that fall into that category of joy? Well, one guy raised his hand and said, I'd like to have a bass boat. I could see getting out and saving up and in a few years maybe have a bass boat. So I asked the rest of the class, I said, okay, guys, I said, what is wrong with this guy's goal? And they're kind of scratching their heads. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with the goal. And one guy raised his hand and said, maybe it's being selfish. And I said, no. I said, guys, that was a trick question. The truth is, there's nothing wrong with having goals that are to please ourselves. I'd like a new guitar. I'd like to save up for this kind of car. For this guy wanted a bass boat. It's okay. These are things that bring us joy, bring us pleasure. Maybe it's just spending more time with my family. That's something that's going to bring me joy. The point is, the more that we write down these goals, this vision, the more detailed we paint that picture, the more exciting it becomes for us to begin to live for that future. And for you, it might be a bass boat or something like that. And the final category is peace. Again, peace might be in getting a job that's going to secure financial peace. It might be peace with God. It might be peace in your home. It might be peace in your work. It might be taking time to include a hobby that could be joy and peace. Making sure I've got time to sit down and play piano when I want to play piano, or draw or paint or go for a hike in the woods. Those are peace goals. And that's my encouragement for us today. That's my homework assignment for us. I'd like you to consider taking out a piece of paper and writing down some of your vision for a brighter future beyond your current situation. And maybe write them down in that order. Write the word love, and then joy, and then peace, and see what you can come up with. Make it something exciting so that you could say, this is who I am in my recovery, and this is where I'm going. That is the key that begins to unlock addiction recovery. Guys, I'm Brian on YouTube at New Life Recovery. As always, I love you. God bless you. And until next time, be well.